Yo, what's going on, everybody? Patreon subscribers and regular listeners. We are here for another edition of Cinema with the Guys. Of course, this week for the Barber's Chair Patreon, it will be free for all you guys for subscribing. A little subscribing as much as y'all did last month. So, I'm doing a free week. I might do these monthly. Haven't fully decided yet. When everybody everybody says I'm a capitalist, which I aspire to be one day. Fuck Twitter. But we are here, you guys, Scott and Dante. You know to follow us on Twitter at Barberchair Scott at October Zone Tay. You know to follow the Barberchair Network at Barberchair Net on Twitter and Instagram. Subscribe to the Patreon. If you want to hear this podcast, it will only be free today. If you want to hear summer sessions, if you want to see the 79th and Hallis recaps, not recaps, but previews, everything we got going on, subscribe to the Patreon, patreon.com/Barbers Chair Network. Listen to it. Also, visit the bcnet.com. Barbers Chair Net shop is coming soon. We got a lot of stuff going on. But Dante, how's it going for you, G?
Decent, bro. Like you said, another really good episode. So, like I said, just really excited about the show, the direction it's headed, and how everything is really building. But other than that, I'm solid, bro. Like you said, we had some really good additions to the network this week. Shout out to JB.
Definitely. Shout out
And
to JB.
excited for what we got going, bro.
A lot of stuff going on. A lot of stuff going on in the Barber's Chair front office. The staff is being built to give y'all great quality content and to put some motherfucking money in our pockets. Just cut the bullshit. You know what I'm saying? But we are here, Cinema with the Guys, episode 69. We're here to break down episode 7 of Game of Thrones, House of the Dragon. Each week, I feel like this show is getting better and better. This one is like when we're getting closer to the Dance of the Dragons. Last episode ended off with Lena deciding she wanted to end it all because of the birth not going well, and she wanted to live die a dragon rider's death, and things of that nature. So let's just get right into it. So episode 7 kicks off. We're back at the Drift Mark for Lena's funeral, and we've got the full family out here, both the Valerian side, the Hightower side, all of them are Targaryens, of course. Everybody's here for Lena's funeral. And we see Otto is back in the fold as he's proudly sporting his hand pendant. Now, of course, in the books, it's been over a decade since he was last hand. Now, in the TV show, it's only been a couple episodes, but in the actual storyline, it's been probably about 10, 15 years since he was last hand. And we see him now back on it, of course, after the death of Lionel Strong and his son, Sir Harwin Strong, who were killed by, I guess the thugs and servants of Larys Strong, their own fucking son. So we see him there with the hand of the king pendant on. The whole family's there. Everybody, looking how you look at a fucking funeral. But you can kind of already feel the tension. And then we see Vaemon Valerian, which is Corlys Valerian's brother, who was one of the heads of the the war in the Stepstones that we seen from like episode 3. He's there, and he's kind of like the preacher of the funeral. They have this Valerian tradition is they basically take your casket and they push that motherfucker into the water so you can live with your ancestors of the water and shit like that. And I was watching the behind the scenes, and a little kid who plays Jace what's that nigga name? Jace Valerian was like, it was kind of funny watching it get pushed into the water over and over again. I was like, no, I can appreciate a kid with morbid humor like myself because that shit is kind of fucking funny. But we see they push it back in there, and while he's doing that, Vaemon is like saying, she was of true Valerian blood. We should not thin our blood, and like basically looking at Rhaenyra like, bitch, we know your kids ain't fully Valerian and Targaryen. And the whole time, Daemon's peeping what's going on. So he still listened to it, and the nigga actually laughs. Daemon laughs in the middle of his own wife's fucking funeral. Basically him getting that, these are not the real kids, the real Targaryens pretty much.
Yeah, bro. Like you said with Hightower, I want to know what he was doing when he was gone because bro, he looked a little rough. You feel me? Like he cleans up later as the episode goes on, but he was looking a little rough at the beginning when you saw him back with the hand badge on. And yeah, like you said, the funeral was dope. It was actually not trying to be funny, but it kind of reminded me of Black Panther when everybody was on the mountain
Yeah.
and everybody was lined up. So
Yeah.
that shit was solid.
Yeah.
But no, like you said, she died a dragon rider's death, and she was given a proper burial, and so I did think that was fire, and especially because there's been a lot of controversy around the Valerians being cast as black people. Like there
Yeah.
was, there's some like Game of Thrones purists, people who treat these books like it's their fucking Bible or something. Who be like, well, you got to stick to the original story, and it's
I
like,
hate people
no,
like that. It's
like you don't.
fucking
It's
TV, dude.
fiction. It's
Yeah.
one of the actors said he said you can't believe in black Valerians, but you believe in fucking dragons. Like it's like, come on.
Yeah.
So no, like it was really dope the way they did that entire scene, and seeing the kids and the way they interact with each other, and seeing that it's still beef because basically they know, these aren't real like you said Targaryens, but for me, what's really dope is the fact, we always talk about honor on this show and how Jace is like, no, fuck that. Like that's our house. Like we should be a hearing hall. That's where we need to
Right,
be
right,
at
right,
because
right. Exactly.
he knows like no,
Exactly.
that's my dad. Like I don't fuck with this shit.
Yeah.
So I really fuck with that.
Jace tried to make it hot, because Rhaenyra went over there and she's like, basically how if you're like at a funeral or any type of family event where there might be a little beef or whatever, and you like, we're family, play nice, go play with your cousins or whatever, some shit like that. And so she like, your cousins just lost their mother, go give them like some love, whatever. He's like, man, my daddy got killed. What the fuck we here? Like my
Yeah, I
real
need
daddy
love
got
too.
killed.
What do you
I
mean?
need love. Fuck them. You know what I'm saying? Like they still got their daddy. Like you know what I'm saying? Like why I gotta deal with this shit? So Jace is not stupid. And that's one thing that you're gonna see in this episode with the kids. I'm gonna keep telling y'all to focus. I need people to focus more on the children because the Dance of the Dragons is more merely focused on the fucking children. Like Alicent, Rhaenyra, Daemon, they all play big roles, obviously, but this is basically on, the new generation, the Targaryens, how this war is going to start off. So, he's really starting to figure out what his real lineage is, and that's going to be part of the whole thing. And so, also in the funeral, you see Aegon, and, he's there with Aemon, and Aegon's getting drunk. You know what I'm saying? He's looking at his weirdo ass sister like, yo, I don't have nothing in common with her ass. Why do I have to get betrothed to her or whatever? And so, basically, Aemon like, yo, man, like think better of her. You're gonna have to be with her who out the bam. And he was like, would you do it? He said, yeah, if it was up to me to like strengthen the family line, I would do it. So and you can just kind of see like Aegon ain't really for the little family throne type shit, at least not yet in the story. You'll see later on that he's gonna be pushed into it. And so you just kind of like see the different personalities as a kid. Helena Targaryen is a fucking weirdo. You know what I'm saying? And, she's like, she plays with like them little
Bugs and
things,
shit.
bugs and shit.
But if you peep, G, like last episode, she made a comment about losing an eye, and then Aemon lost his eye this episode. So
Mm-hmm.
let's take a look at what she said. I mean, I don't have it written down in front of me, but when you go, but everybody goes back and do their rewatch. Just look at what she said and see how it plays out in the next couple episodes. Because
Well, it
like
was
clearly,
when,
she be dropping little hints here and there. Because when
yeah,
she was playing with the millipede, that was at
yeah,
two
that's what it was.
ago. Yeah,
Now
when
it
she
was
was playing
like,
with the
it was last episode. It was last
yeah,
episode.
when she was playing with that millipede, she was like, he'll lose an eye. Well, he got his
Yeah.
dragon, and that's exactly what happened.
Yep, because she was like, Allison told him, "You'll get your dragon one day." He's like, "You'll lose an eye," So she probably has some kind of, she give me Bran weirdo vibes. Like, of course,
Yeah,
we all know eventually Bran's 3-eyed Raven became the king, but she had like them little weirdo vibes. And Aegon just like, man, I'm just trying to drink this wine. I don't know what the fuck she on. And so one thing I love about this whole funeral scene is like it shows you all the different things going on in this one funeral, like all the different character perspectives. So now we're looking at the character perspective of Luke Targaryen or Luke Valerian, but his name's gonna change later. You know how that shit is. Luke is over there and he's like upset. And Corlys comes to him and he's trying to get Luke to be ready to be the Lord of the Tides. He's like, yo, your brother's gonna be king, who out the band, but you're gonna be the real Lord of the Tides. Y'all control the sea. And Luke doesn't want to do it. He's like, I don't want to do that because if I'm the Lord of Driftmark, that means everybody's dead. You know what I'm saying? Seeing the way like you said, these kids aren't stupid. They know what the fuck is going on in the world and just kind of caught like Corlys off guard on, what he was saying. And so after that, what we see is like Jace, we see Jace is, comforting his cousins, Baela and Rhaena, we see some tension, like you bringing up tension between him and Aemon. Like Aemon's coming up, in the same area, and these motherfuckers used to be, cool, like cousins and shit. But there's not really, when it's actually like they're not even cousins. That's like his fucking nephews, actually, which is it's nasty. It's his cousin nephew. Just how it is. And Aemon, you can feel the beef between them. You know what I'm saying? And at the same time, you see Laenor. We didn't see really like that much Laenor at the beginning of this episode, but he's out by the sea and he's really, really taking his sister dying very, very, very hard. And you see Corlys looking on, and Corlys ain't stupid. Corlys knows what's going on. He's trying to ignore it, and he actually goes up to Sarkar, which is, Laenor's lover, was like, yo, get your fucking mans, like in a very angry way. And his brother Vayman was trying to tell him, like, yo, like, you making it hot on the whole shit. Let's chill out on that.
Yeah, bro. And that he said it's always hidden shit going on behind the scenes at every funeral. And so, he's just seeing that, but like the kids and the tension, and I really like the way that the story is shifting toward them, and like they're doing a great job of showcasing that. Even when I know it's a little more difficult with child actors, but like you said, when you see the scene, you can see the tension between them, and you see when they hold hands, like the Valerian kids and Jace, they realize, like we are gonna have to stick together in some capacity, like. So that was like a flash of what's to come.
Yeah.
But I think funerals are really trash. I feel like even in TV shows, like it's hard to make a quote unquote good funeral. You feel me? Like it's always gonna be some
funerals
type of,
ain't good.
Yeah, exactly. It's always well. I mean, it depends on your culture, because like some people they treat them like celebrations, but in this case, you could really see like there was just a lot of different emotions because there's so much going on, and you have these underlying storylines, like with like you said, with them the kids they wanted to be a Harrenhal hall. Like you said, kids are very observant. They know what's going on. And I think, they looking around like, okay, everybody in this motherfucker got white hair except for us.
I mean, I've been to funerals like that where there's like internal beef going on. You know what I'm
Oh
saying?
yeah.
Like,
Oh yeah. Oh, every black
saying?
person have.
Yeah, every nigga done been in some shit like that. That's why it was kind of funny to me. And like, where everybody, like, because families gossip, black families gossip. There might be a side of the family you don't really fuck with, or there might be a little bit of tension between this other side of the family. And you got the kids, like you see with Luke and Jace, where they kids. They don't even fully get the concept of what's going on. You know what I'm saying? Like, the death and this person isn't coming back. And so all that shit kind of plays at the same time. So I liked how they did it with this one. You know what I'm saying? Like, one thing Game of Thrones is good at is showing shit from different perspectives of each different character.
Yeah, no, definitely, bro. Like you said, and that's been important, especially because I guess, like I've been saying every episode, they lost a lot of people. And like one thing about the original Game of Thrones is that storytelling and their ability to have you connect with these characters is one of the main reasons we all here now.
Yeah.
So like I said, I'm glad they really restoring the faith and like giving us a quality product every week.
Definitely, I definitely agree with that one. Then later, in this funeral, Rhaenyra is not, the whole time she's like in the cut. She kind of looked like that Russell. Remember Russell Westbrook in the bubble? The nigga was like looking around, like like what the fuck niggas is doing? Like she in the cut, right. Yeah, like she in the cut, like she got the pistol on her. You know what I'm saying? Like looking for shit that's trying to pop off. But at the same time, she's like looking at every corner, seeing what's going on. But at the same time, she's looking at Daemon, and like she's trying to get to Daemon. And while this is going on, you see Viserys is there looking sickly again. He looks sickly, gets more and more sickly each episode. And Viserys is a very key character because all this shit don't pop off till Viserys dies. And my actual prediction is I think you're gonna get his death in episode 9. Like, in Game of Thrones fashion, it's always either a big battle or a death in every episode 9. And when Viserys dies, that's when this shit really pops off. And we see his health deteriorating. So Viserys, in his old age, he's trying to make amends with his brother. You know what I'm saying? And, basically saying, like, there's a seat for you on my council, whatever you need help with. And Daemon's still upset from years back at that battle of the Stepstones, and basically saying, like, nigga, I don't need you. Like, I don't give a fuck what your old age is talking about. I don't need you. Get the fuck up out my face. And so when this happened, you see Otto, as he's always plotting. Otto is like, well, what do you say? I'm sorry for your loss, my prince. And then he bars Otto ass up, and he says, no matter how far the leash grows, it always wants for another meal. Basically telling this nigga, you ain't low. Everybody in here knows what the fuck you trying to do and what kind of plan you got. Get the fuck out my face.
Yeah, bro. Like you said, Otto, as subtle as his moves are, like everybody's privy to what he's doing, and like everybody is like, all right, bro, we not. No, I see what this is clear as day, but I think in the same sense, Otto sees what Damon's trying to do. Like
Yeah,
he's like, not saying that he thinks Damon killed Lena or anything like that, but he's like, now your wife mysteriously dies. This nigga burnt up over here. Like you can see the wheels of the or the possibilities. So he's protecting his investment, which was his initial investment was his daughter.
yeah,
Having her become the fucking queen.
definitely. Yeah, exactly. And so through this whole thing, we get back to Aegon. Aegon's still drunk. And we're like probably like the end of the funeral, like kind of like I guess like the repast, whatever. Because it's dark as hell outside now. And by the way, I had no problem seeing this scene. I don't know about y'all. I saw a lot of people. I can't see. I was like, I don't know what type of TVs you niggas got. I was able to see. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's the only scene that was really extremely dark for me was the when Damon and Rhaenyra went to the whorehouse.
But even
That one was
oh, you
pitch
talking about
ass
that one? Yeah.
black.
I
Yeah,
mean, the
I was like,
darkest
what the hell?
I can deal with it for a scene or two. What pissed me off was in the longest night in the season 8, where that
Oh
whole
yeah,
battle was dark as shit. And I'm like, nigga, for an hour, like, come on,
yeah.
like,
Like bro, like I get you want to set the scene, but I can't see my nigga.
yeah,
Like
right, right, exactly. But it's like with this one, I felt it was easier to see than it was with that one. Like, I didn't really have that much of a problem with it, and I liked how they showed that we're on a beach and there's no fucking light. It's like BC times, nigga. Like, there's not gonna be any
yeah,
fucking light. But we see Otto, he's hemming up Aegon drunk ass, like, yo, get your fucking shit together, nigga. Like, shaking his ass. Basically, he ain't telling you I'm gonna be king, but in his head, like, nigga, we trying to prep you to be king. You out here drinking wine and shit and not doing royal type of shit. Otto just kind of had a issue with that. And so next we get back to Corliss's, main, quarters, I guess you want to call it. And here him and Lady Rhaenys are arguing because she feels like Corlys is caring about the crown too much, and he uses as well. It was gonna be yours, and how is it wrong for a husband to want it to end right or some shit like that? And she's like, well, it doesn't matter if you're putting the kids in danger. You know what I'm saying? Like how much do you really care about this shit? Let's think about what's going on. We lost one daughter, and we don't even know what the fuck is going on with our fucking son. And basically, she's saying that she feels that Driftmark should go to Lena's kids because they are of true Valerian blood, and Corlys is trying to deny it. And she's like, "Yo, Rhaenyra's children are not of your own blood. You stop denying this shit. You know it deep down, you know." Accept that shit and let's find a way to fix the shit. And he's like, well, history doesn't remember blood. They remember names. And like he's so stuck on the throne, which the whole theme of this entire franchise, the throne, that he's willing to ignore the true facts just to, have some type of hand in it.
yeah, bro. That shit was wild because she's been telling him, from jump, like, hey, this is a bad idea. This is a bad idea. Like you said, now they down one kid. She's already accepted who their son really is, but he's still in denial about that, even to the point where he's sitting here looking at these brown haired kids who look like Caucasian men,
Yeah.
telling him, saying, no, those are his kids. Those are his. And it's like, no, bro. Like even if the kids did look white, they would still have Valyrian blood. So they would have the white hair. And so, it was just plain as day. And she's been trying to tell him, like, she let it go. Like when she had the crown, lost the crown, and it is what it is. Like, at this point, it should be about protecting their family. But he's like, he's not only trying, he feels like he's not only protecting his family, he's trying to advance his family's legacy and, get them higher on the totem pole. So, I mean, I get where he's saying, where he's coming from a little bit, but at the same time, his wife has been right the entire time.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And then he also doing the nigga things that niggas do. He's like trying to act like it's in her favor. Like, nigga, you don't give a fuck about that shit anymore. You just want to make sure your fingerprints are on the throne in some way, shape, or form. You know what I'm saying? So that to me was the cap about it and all. But Rhaenys was 100% correct. And so next we get to Rhaenyra finally gets up to Daemon, and they're walking on the beach, dark as hell, and they're having this conversation, and they're really talking about their different relationships and how she tried to make it work with Lenore, but it just wasn't working, and she's like, well, at least you and enjoyed your time with Lena. Like, you might not have, and then she asked the classic woman question when they don't want to hear the answer to it. Did you love her? You know, and I was like, oh, here we go. Here we go. So then she starts openly thirsting for a fucking uncle. Now I get this is the show, this is the thing. It's still fucking disgusting. You know what I'm saying? So she starts openly thirsting, throwing it at him, lobbing it like, oh, I'm not a young girl anymore, like that type of shit. You know what I'm saying? And after this whole conversation, anybody with a fucking brain knows where the fuck this is going. So pretty much they fuck on the beach, Johnny Drama at Cannes Festival and Entourage style. And this is pretty much the beginning of what we're eventually going to see with their marriage.
Yeah, this was filthy, but we all saw it coming. So, you know, typical tradition for them. And now it was you had to see it because, like you said, we know they're gonna link up for the dance of the what's the dance of the dragons?
Dance of the Dragons.
Yeah. So I mean, like I said, I don't really have too much to say about that. That was fucking gross, but
right.
I expected.
Yeah, when I went back and watched the second time, like this is nasty. Like not only she want to sleep with him, she like throwing it at him, like lobbing it, like
yeah.
You know when a woman just ain't gonna take no for an answer, one of them type of things, like you've been trying to push off for a while, you know what I'm saying?
No,
and she's just like, no, that shit ain't happening tonight. You know what I'm saying?
She's like, no, we're gonna do this. This time.
Like, exactly. And that
I don't care.
Time,
we just threw you. I don't care. We just threw your wife into the water. We about to make this happen.
We doing this shit tonight. I don't give a fuck how many family members is here. You know what I'm saying? That's when you just like, okay. You know, and that's pretty much how it was.
And thinking back that they had to walk back to the function all sandy,
right?
All dusty sandy. And shit.
Now, and you know the sex must was real extreme back in the day. You know what I'm saying? Like
they probably hadn't bathed in days.
They that's on top of the already we ain't bathe must. You know what I'm saying? So I'm pretty sure they not coming into function, come back and function fooling nobody. You know what I'm saying? Like niggas would have knew what time it was. So while all this shit is going on, you got Rhaenyra and you got Daemon fucking in the sand. You got the family, you know, at the repast pretty much. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna call this episode Targaryen Family Repast. There we go. and at the fucking repast, you know what I'm saying, eating a kidney pie and drinking a wine and shit. This nigga Aemon plotting. So Aemon in the cut, he still looks at Vhagar. Now Vhagar is Laena's dragon, the dragon that Laena told him to kill. I mean, tell her to kill her. So Rhaegar is a female dragon, which I didn't know, and she's the oldest dragon. And one thing about the dragons in Game of Thrones is pretty much these motherfuckers just grow till they get too big to move, and then they fucking die. So she's one of the oldest dragons. She's the biggest dragon in history. She's been around for like 200 years, and she's so big they can't even keep her in the dragon pit anymore. So she's just out on the beach just kicking it. And so Aemon like, fuck it, I don't give a fuck if I get my head blown off, motherfucker. I'm going to see if I can get this dragon. So he pulls up on Vhagar and, you know, speaks to her in High Valyrian and basically he's trying to get her to calm her down. And it looked like Vhagar was gonna be on some shit, and you know, but she just pretty much just accepts it. Not accepts it, but like, you know, warms up to him. And so Aemon gets on the dragon and they just take off. And it's like he's controlling the dragon, claiming the dragon, you know what I'm saying, as where it's like when you buy a new car, you know what I'm saying, you're trying to get used to how it drives and shit, you know, where you gonna put the insurance, you know what I'm saying, like how fast can this motherfucker go on the E-way. He's doing all that shit with Vhagar, and at the same time Vhagar is getting closer to Aemon. It's like they finally connect, and even though he's still in that motherfucker, we see a connection between the two.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, in the bloodline, you know, they can do that with dragons, and for him, they had been waiting so long, especially after he, you know, got hazed with the pig, and you know, had really been getting teased about not having a dragon. For him to be able to end up controlling the oldest dragon, you know, what I'm saying, in the kingdom, that was a lot. You know, it was foul as fuck that he stole that dragon, but I mean, I get it. I see why he did it.
Yeah, exactly. Like at this point, and you're gonna see a change in Aemon from this moment for the rest of the fucking series. Like he becomes a different kind of nigga, you know what I'm saying? It's like when a nigga get a little bit of money, you know what I'm saying? Them niggas start changing a little, he got a little more swagger, and you're gonna see that in this next scene. So while this is going on, now this is a dragon. Now still in the car, you're gonna make some noise. Still in the dragon, you waking up the whole goddamn block. So the girls, they hear what's going on and they wake Jace up and they're like, yo, somebody's trying to steal Vhagar. And they go down to the dragon pit and they catch Aemon like, you did it. Nah, Aemon like, I'm that nigga. You know what I'm saying? He bossing up talking shit like, yo, what you want to do? Like, yeah, your mama's dead. You know what I'm saying? This is my shit now. the fuck is up? And so that immediately gets Bayla upset. She swings at the nigga.
Stole on his ass.
Stole off that nigga. He come back swinging. So we got a full on uncle, nephew, cousin type of fight going on. And Eamon getting his ass whooped for like they just yamming on cuz. So he get up and then he start fighting. And all of a sudden, he's like, what he say? He's talking about, something like, this is not your thing to claim. You know, you don't even you're not even one of us. And Luke is looking like, what the fuck is going on? She said, oh, you didn't know Lord Strong. And then that just has Jace lose. It pulls out the dagger, take this nigga eye out.
Yeah, bro. Like the fight was crazy because they was really beating his ass. Like,
it was like that. Get up, nigga.
Yeah.
Fight back.
Like, fight back, nigga. Fight back. But no, they was beating his ass. But then, like he said, because you could see that, you know, they were sick that he stole it. That she was sick that he stole her dragon. Like we all remember 2 episodes ago when she was in front of the fire with her dragon egg, you know, hoping that it hatched. And you know, naturally, she probably, even though she was grieving, she figured, you know, all right, my mother's passed away. I'm gonna go down here. This is gonna be my dragon now.
Right.
Like, I'm gonna do that. And so,
and that's what she said too. He said, well, you should have claimed that motherfucker then.
Yeah. So you saw that rage coming out. And like you said, taking the shots at the Strongs. And it goes back to what his sister said. It was like you'll gain it, but it'll cost you an eye. Yeah. And so, you know, he pushes bro off because he was trying to hit damn, what's her name? He was trying to hit one of the Valyrian kids. He's trying to hit her with a rock.
Yeah, so that's what is Rhaenys? No, I don't know. One of motherfuckers.
Bayla and Rhaenys.
I think it was. Yeah.
I think it was Bayla. He was trying to hit Bayla, and so, you know, he got him off of her, and then when he picked that knife back up, like you said, sliced him, slinging, gave him a smooth $150 across the face. Yeah, like that was crazy. But I mean, it was predicted. It was prophesied by his sister.
Yep, exactly. And then the next scene, this is the funniest and the best scene of the whole episode to me. So the King's Guard breaks it up and they bring it to Viserys. And Viserys like, what happened? And then, you know, Sir Christian, little bitch ass, well, the prince was fighting. It was taken by the other prince, my lord. Like, you know, oh, your grace. So I was like, this bitch ass nigga. And then this nigga, so at this point, Viserys is fed up. Viserys be fed up every fucking episode. Viserys is like that Ben Affleck meme with a nigga stress smoking. That's exactly what Viserys is every episode. And so basically he wants peace and he's trying to figure out what happened. And, you know, Aemon's like, look, you know what I'm saying? They not one of us. You know what I'm saying? That's what happened. And I told him that and he just knocked my eye out. He's like, what the fuck are you hearing such fallacy? He snitched on his brother. He like, oh, that bitch ass nigga Aegon told him. And Aegon looking like, Aegon look like the 50 me. Yo, why'd you say fuck me for?
whole time Allison in the back, like, please don't say my name.
Yeah,
please don't say my name. Don't you do it. Don't you fucking do it.
Yeah. And so, and then Viserys is going to him like, you my oldest son, and he's looking like, yo, what the fuck? Where'd you learn this bullshit from? He looked like that's what he just. This is how you know this nigga was drunk. You know, you drunk, you just don't give a fuck no more. You just start saying whatever. He like, look, nigga, we all know. Look at these niggas here.
He said,
we all know. Yeah. Everybody in this room know. Ain't nobody fooled about what the fuck is happening. And then Viserys pretty much becomes like Cicely Tyson in Tyler Perry's Madea family reunion. You know, he went when she's standing in front of all the people on that land.
That's his best monologue. That's his best monologue of the season.
Yeah, like, exactly.
You know, he's like as your grandsire, as your king. Like I command you. Like, you know, he was in his bag.
Yeah. He was dropping off, but he was fed up. And then he's basically like, Monique, is this who we are? Is this who we have become? And so the whole time, Allison ain't trying to hear. And this all of a sudden, Rhaenyra burst in, like every mother when they don't know what's going on with their kids, very protective. And Allison's like, look, I want an eye for an eye. You took my son's eye, I should be able to take the eye of Jace. And so we all know Viserys is a very soft spot for Rhaenyra. You know, that was, you know, his firstborn daughter, you know, how the whole situation played out with her mother. He has a soft spot. Even though Aemon is his son, he ain't really going for it. And then she's like, you know, she tells the Christian to do it. And he's like, yo, that nigga still loyal to me. He's like, well, he came to me first. And so basically he's like, yo, chill the fuck out. I don't give a fuck what she talking about. Ain't none of this shit finna go down. All y'all sit in the corner and get y'all shit together. So Allison, like every woman, when you tell her no, is like, fuck this. So she takes the motherfucking blade and tries to go at Jace herself. And Rhaenyra, like every other mother would do, gets in front of her child, and a whole little, brouhaha breaks out. And so Christian tries to get involved like the bitch he is, and Damon, really the whole episode, Damon just in the cut. Damon in the cut this whole episode. Damon and just this motherfucker watching. Like, look, all y'all doing this shit at my wife's funeral. If anybody in this motherfucker should be acting up, it should be me. And y'all niggas in here doing this shit. So Christian tried to get involved, and Damon like, look, these chicks can fight, but your ass finna stay over here and cut that whole thing out.
Yeah, bro. And like you said, because Renee, she burst in, and I think she was the one who originally brought up the, there have been allegations about my the legitimacy of my children. She basically was like, Pops, you see they bullshitting. You see this, you see what's going on.
That shit I'm talking about.
because she already know her dad is gonna take her side no matter what. Because at the end of it, he was like, if anybody questions their legitimacy, they will have their tongue. Like,
exactly.
And so it's getting to a point where it's like, this is our family. And Allison, like one of the dopest parts of their little tussle is when Rhaenyra says, the cloak is off now. Like, we see you for who you really are.
Oh, we know who you are now.
Yeah, like we see what this really is about.
Yeah, exactly. So, and then like Allison, one thing that pissed me off about Allison's character, she ain't for the smoke. Like, I just hate a motherfucker who talk all that shit, and then when shit pop off, she ain't really down for it. Like, she talk a big game, but when it's try to go down, like, she could have easily just poke that motherfucker in, and she wasn't about it. No matter how much she hates Rhaenyra, I don't think she actually wanted to see Rhaenyra hurt. You know what I'm saying? She was just outraged about what happened to her kid. And even when she's holding, this is the whole scene of like promos, like everybody dropping a promo. She's like, in all the honor of the kingdom, just going off. And the whole time I'm sitting there like, why you worried about her pussy so much? Like, why do you care this fucking much about what the fuck she's doing? And so out of anger, when Viserys is like, yo, I ain't gonna have no more of this shit, I'm gonna cut y'all niggas' tongues out. She out of like, I don't even think she did it on purpose, but just like out of reaction, just like cut some of Rhaenyra's finger. And Rhaenyra
it was a forearm.
Yeah, it was a forearm. And Rhaenyra's not really shocked or whatever. Rhaenyra just looking like, oh, that for a drop of blood, like on some Thanos shit. Like, you ain't shit. But we all see right here that the battle lines are officially drawn. You know what I'm saying? Between between the greens and the black. And I'll explain that a little bit more. I don't know if you also peep too. If you look at all the Otto in the back, like, that's my girl right there. Like, I see
he's perfectly fine with it. He like, it's time. It's time. God damn it. It's what LeBron says, it's about damn time. It's about damn time. Like,
that's exactly. That's what Otto's like. This is what I'm talking about, right? And he was like that Jill Scott. This is what I'm talking about. That's Otto in the cut. You know what I'm saying? So we go back to Allison. She's actually feeling remorseful. You know what I'm saying? And you see that kind of the rest of the episode. So she's back in the chambers, and Otto comes to visit her, and she's like, "Oh, I owe Viserys an apology. I acted the wrong way. I shouldn't have did that to the princess."
Hey, G, but before we get too far away from this, I mean, not to cut you off.
No, go ahead.
I don't know if you peeped when she's holding the knife to her, the way Rhaenyra looks at the knife, because she knows about the Song of Fire. Like, she knows what the knife represents.
What the history,
she was like, so it's like, yo, this is my time. Like, that's why she said that shit about, well, now we see what you really about, because you know what I'm about. Like,
it's this wartime. It's time to pop off. You know what I'm saying? I felt like Nuri, make some noise for that. You know what I'm saying? And that is the same knife. All the kids paying attention, that's the same knife that Arya kills the Night King with. That's the same knife that the Lannisters use to try to kill Bran. The same Valyrian dagger. So that's the one connector we have to both stories here. So back to the Otto and Allison conversation. She's feeling very remorseful. Says she didn't mean to do that. Rhaenyra, she owes both of them an apology. You know what I'm saying? Oh, but I forgot. Let me go back because I forgot about the bar that Aemon dropped off. So
big bar.
Aemon, big bar. Cloth talk. So at the end, when all this is settled, before it's settled, Aemon looked at his mother. He said, "Don't worry." He said, "Don't worry about it, mother. Don't mourn me, mother. I might have lost an eye, but I gained a dragon on these niggas."
Right. Out here with one eye, burning shit down.
Yeah,
like, it don't matter.
You like, this the price I had to pay to get my dragon? So be it, nigga. So we already have that established. So Otto sees the thing starting to come in the High Tower favor. He basically tell like, yo, Nah, this is the shit I was talking about. You know what I'm saying? Now it's time to get your shit together, rally the troops, get the kids together. The king ain't got much longer. Shit about to pop off. He pretty much give her the get ready speech. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
basically when when you watch the sporting event, you know what I'm saying? Like, let's just say it's a game 7, and back in the day, you was hear Bob Costas hyping some shit up. Yeah, you might see Kobe, like Kobe sitting on a bench, but you got Phil talking to him like da 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 da. It was one of those type of speeches. You know what I'm saying? Getting them ready for the eventual war that's to come. So next scene, Rhaenyra's getting her bandage, put together in Laenor. We see Laenor. He's drunk. He looks upset, and he's basically apologizing to Rhaenyra, like, so Carl's gonna be going back to the blood to the war over on the Stepstones. I have not been the best husband. I have not done the best things. I have tried to make this look legitimate for you. You know what I'm saying? And you've basically done everything for me, which is kind of like when she told him this in episode 6. He really wasn't trying to hear that shit. But now I feel like with his sister being dead and just how he feels, how the rest of the family feels about them, he feels like it's his duty to, be the real husband. And, he's like, oh, well, I wish the gods didn't make me this way. And, Rhaenyra, she's like hearing it, but Rhaenyra at this time then got, digged down by her uncle, disgusting. And so she's already on to the next. So when he says he's going to recommit herself to, she like, damn, I can't get rid of this nigga yet.
Yeah, she's like, yeah, bro, I really don't want to hear this right now.
Yeah.
This was not, but not the words I needed to hear from you. Like she's trying to end it, and like as we gonna see, she's definitely scheming.
Yeah, it's like when you're trying to leave your girl. Not that I know anything about this. That you're trying to leave your girl, she hits you with the last dishes to give her to work. I'm kind of fine.
Yeah,
I'm kind of good over here.
It was good while it lasted.
It was good while like you go over there, do your thing. I'm over here. So after that, we see everybody is starting to leave the Driftmark, go back to King's Landing, go back to where they at, and we see sick ass Viserys. This nigga gets seasick. And, whenever you're on the road, this nigga throwing up and all this other shit, and he's throwing up. And on top of that, he's irritated by how his family's been acting. And Allison, like I said, she's still very remorseful, and she's trying to apologize, which is rare that we catch women apologizing on film. Never happens. So she's on here apologizing, and he's just like, man, shut the fuck up. Like, I ain't trying to hear nothing you talk about. So let me get home, and don't say nothing in this car ride. Let me turn this music up so I ain't got to hear what the fuck you talking about.
Yeah, exactly. He's done with it all. He's like, I'm not trying to hear none of this. You didn't slice my daughter. You know what I'm saying? You tried to cut his grandson. Well, it's still his grandson. Shit, tried to cut his grandson eye out. Like, you went against my will, trying to get Sir Christian to fucking go over there and do it, and yelled at me in front of all these people. By the way,
in front of all these people, right?
Like no, he was done with it.
In front of everybody. This sound like in front of this big ass repast, all this food not even paid for. You know what I'm saying? And you do this shit, and then you want to apologize in private. Get the fuck out of here. That's basically what Sarah was on. You know what I'm saying? So next we see, on the I guess like the boat ride back to King's Landing, we see Larys. Now this isn't the first time we've seen Larys. We saw Larys early, but I wanted to bring this point later on. During the funeral, this nigga's like in the cut, like one of them weirdo niggas, like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. When he was looking at a fine chick, and she made eye contact with this nigga, like, yo, this nigga a weirdo, you know what I'm saying? Now they haven't fully announced it yet, but you can see from the drip, you know what I'm saying? You got this nigga's the new Lord of Harrenhal, he's the new Lord of the Whispers, so he's getting a little closer to Allison. I don't know if he got a little thing digging for, or he know I got you right where I need you. Blackmail wise, what do you think that his motivation is?
I think he said him being the weirdo he is. This is more of a strategic thing. Like, he's like, no, I got you where I want you. Like, I can blackmail you. If anything happens, I'm like, well, the queen told me to kill these niggas. Like he basically told her that that after he did it. Like, I can take it there if I want to. Like, I'm not gonna do it right now, but I definitely can. So I think for him it was like, and I do believe. The beginning of the episode, they do say he's the new Lord of Harrenhal. Like they
said at the beginning. Okay,
yeah, they say that they like they do every episode. They throw a couple like hints in there to let you know what's been advanced and whatnot. Yeah. And so no, he definitely said that. Okay, she definitely said that. But
so he got the drip
on his weirdo shit. Yeah,
on his weirdo shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, and everybody who's like a Lord of Whispers, you're gonna compare to a Varys. You know what I'm saying? But I always say Varys was a real nigga though. Like Varys. In fact, the way the Varys died is because he was too much of a real nigga. that, you know what I'm saying, it got out. You know what I'm saying? Niggas knew that, he knew that John, the last Targaryen, was the real nigga need to be on the phone. But Varys' intentions were always pure, I think. You know what I'm saying? And then that he's loyal to what he had to do. Even when he knew he had to do shit for the realm, he would still look out for niggas. He tried to warn motherfucking Ned Stark, like, yo, you might want to take the girls back to Winterfell, my nigga. They're like, this shit ain't finna go the way you think it's finna go. So the difference here is Larys ain't that type of dude. Larys is strictly only for gain. You know what I'm saying? I don't really think he gives a fuck about what the realm needs, or even what Allison in the family needs. It's about what the fuck he's trying to do.
Yeah, bro, exactly. He's definitely selfish in that aspect because it's not about the greater good of the seven kingdoms. He don't give a, like apparently he don't give a fuck about the seven kingdoms. Like
Yeah,
for you to throw your own house into turmoil like that by killing, the king, well, basically essentially the king and the heir to the throne. Man, that's further proof you're not really interested in all of that. This is all about what he can get for himself and how much he can gain from it, and we really gonna see.
yep. And she also tells him like, yo, pretty much she looking at, and I love, like, I always pay like to like with any TV show. Now I'm aware I'm in the minority of this because I love looking for different things, and she looking at this nigga like, yo, folks ass real still weirdo, but I'm gonna need this nigga for shit coming up. And she like, look, I might need what you're trying to give me in a minute. Just lay back, wait for me to hit the trap phone, and we gonna be all good. And basically, he looking like, I bet, you know what I'm saying? Like, put me to work pretty much. And she's like, all right, you can start to see that her father's words and a mix of Viserys not really trying to hear her shit, then she's starting to put together her plan on how she gonna ride on Rhaenyra pretty much. And so, and that's one thing I gotta give Game of Thrones credit for. In just 7 episodes, I think they beautifully have shown the great sistership, great sisterhood that Alicent and Rhaenyra had in episode 1 and like 2 and even 3, to it's just being full out hate between the two now. And I think it's more of a hate on Alicent. I don't think Rhaenyra hates Alicent. I think Rhaenyra is just like, look, this is just what I got to do because you won't mind your fucking business. I think they did that in a great way without it feeling rushed. Really, just the whole time jumps in general. What do you think about like how they built up the relationship in these 7 episodes?
Yeah, no, it's been perfect, and it's just shown how they say with the time how relationships can change over time. Like
Yeah,
how they've gone from sisters to they didn't really want anything to do with each other. They were building the relationship, but then as Rhaenyra, once she found out Rhaenyra lied to her, and now seeing her, go and procreate with somebody who ain't her husband, when she's been preaching all this loyalty and all this other shit, so it just shows the way the not only how their relationship changed, but what's caused the changes. And like you said, they've
yeah.
done a really great job showing us that.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. And so on the next scene we see, which is like a real important scene, we see the dragons and everybody leaving Driftsmart, but you still see Damon and Rhaenyra there. Rhaenyra comes to him like, look, I think we should get married. Further the bloodline. You know what I'm saying? She said, I need you, uncle. And I think this, even though we know she has feelings for Damon, I think this proposition was more of a business end, like, yo, we got to do this. I need help. I know what the fuck is on the horizon. I need help. You're somebody who I know. You a sneaky nigga. You know what I'm saying? You always one step ahead. You still got your eyes. She's like, we can. She said, we can help. Strengthen my success. We have kids, and then they can't challenge this kid because this is a full blood Targaryen right here. They can't challenge that, and so my rise to the throne gets even easier, and then you'll be my king consort. I think that's the word they use, king consort. And he's like, in his head, Damon like, all right, I'm cool with that, but this can only legally happen if Laenor isn't here anymore. Like something has to happen to Laenor for this to happen. And she like, I know. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, and David like, oh, okay. So I see what kind of time you're on. And then we start to see the wheels in motion and what the plan is going to be.
Yeah, exactly. And it's crazy because she was just like, no, fuck it, we gonna offer him. And he was like, well,
Yeah.
wait a minute.
Yeah.
He was like,
let's think about this.
We can actually do something where like we all win. Where you can give him what he wants and we get what we want. And he basically told you like, nobody will know but us. Like,
yeah,
we're the only ones that don't know about what's going on. So, he actually talks her out of killing her husband.
Yeah.
And said, let's set this play up real quick.
Yeah.
And make sure everybody wins.
And it's just, I feel like I love doing old school wrestling references. Like this is kind of like 1999, November, December 1999, the beginning of the McMahon Helmsley faction. You know what I'm saying? Where, Stephanie was fed up with Vince. And she's like, no, fuck it. I'm gonna fake marry this nigga Triple H. You know what I'm saying? And we gonna take over the company. So we basically seeing the Triple H and the Stephanie McMahon of Westeros coming together here as they're planning this. And
Except they
so,
related.
except they're related, you know, except they're related, which is disgusting. But and then we see whenever Damon puts the hood on, playoff Damon, when Damon puts the hood on, he mean business. We go to Sakara and he basically like puts the plan in motion. Like, yo, I got the money. You know what I'm saying? Y'all can go out to a place where you ain't got to worry about war. You ain't got to worry about name. None of that shit. Just follow the plan. But for the fans viewing, we thinking like, even though when he said set the plan, I initially thought that, oh, they're just gonna pay somebody off to kill him. It didn't hit me till later what they was on. And so Carl's like, cool. So we see they go to the I guess like the quarters of Corliss, and Damon comes through like the cut. He knocks out like one of the soldiers, and Carl sets some shit up with Lenor. And so they kind of like have a little battle, but they do it as like they fake it. They throw like one of the I guess like one of the Knights dudes inside the actual furnace, like to burn this nigga to a crisp so that can't really nobody recognize him. But we think this is Lenor. So we see Corliss and Rhaenys coming in. Rhaenys screams when she sees the body, thinking it's Lenor. I thought it was Lenor too. And I'm like, oh shit, they really went through with it.
Yeah.
Corliss gets upset, wondering how you let this shit happen in my house. And the whole time it's being put together. If they're switching back and forth. So while this is going, you see the marriage you actually see the actual wedding of Damon and Rhaenyra going on at the same time. And while they're doing this, we see a boat, like a getaway boat. Kind of remind me of Sir Davos, getting what's my man? What was Baratheon's bastard? The one who
when he got him up out of there.
Gendry. You know what I'm saying? When he got Gendry up, it kind of reminded me of that. And so we see that's Lenor. He just cut off the dreads, full ball, looking like Cory Booker. You know what I'm saying? And he's on the boat. And we like, oh shit, he's alive. But they finessed it so so everybody thinks he's there, but he's really not. And that's really just shows you at the end of the day, Rhaenyra still had love for him to get him out of there. And that's one thing they changed in the books, because in the books he does lie. Does die. So I did kind of like that little change up there.
Yeah, because I feel like, I think that was part of them just, like I said, Hollywood, you got to do something different, like add your own little spice to it, and then just giving him that grace. Also, like I said, they are worried about everything. So I wonder if they would have had felt like they would have had backlash if you kill him off, even though it's Game of Thrones and everybody dies. So I really don't see the point of changing it, but it was smooth how she did that. Because it was like, all right, you did your duty to me, and here you go. You can go.
Yep, exactly. And so episode ends with Rhaenyra and Damon getting married. We see both of their kids there, and you kind of see the beginning of a new family. And so now, time for the episode 8 trailer breakdown. As I do episodes, spoilers. If you do not want to know what that trailer means, if you want to be in the red or in the dark of what this trailer is about, turn it off right here at the 48:08 mark. Okay, spoilers right here. So we got episode 8 dropping next week, and we have what they said is the last time jump before we get to the actual Dance of Dragons. So these new actors that you see, all the teenage Aemon and teenage Aegon, all the little kids, they're gone. They were here for 2 episodes. We're already done with them. So we see the time jump, and you see Aegon, looks like the alcohol is getting to him. He don't look right. Helena Targaryen looks even weirder. You know what I'm saying? Aemon had the young nigga growth spurt. This nigga tall, looking like he the oldest of them, and he got the eye patch on, and he's looks more confident. And you can see, in there, he's battling Sir Christian, and you even see where you can see the nephews, Jason, Luke. They're older now. All their kids are older, and he even says nephews, kind of acknowledge them. So we see the time jump, and you see Viserys is way too sick to rule. You see this nigga is bedridden now. He had a mask on his face. I guess his face is deteriorating so bad that you can't even look at it. And basically the High Tower is in control of the throne. We see Otto on the Iron Throne. He's like, I have the full support of the king. Basically, I can do whatever the fuck I want. But he, with his grace, with his backing. And it's pretty much what happened when what's my man name? Baratheon.
When Tywin was on the throne until
not that one. What's that nigga name? Cersei's first husband.
Robert Baratheon.
Robert, that's that nigga name. Robert Baratheon. When Robert Baratheon got bit by the boar, and then Ned became,
Oh
he
yeah,
was
like
he was on.
I speak
Yeah,
as the mouthpiece of the
I
king.
speak
Yeah,
exactly, and that's what got Cersei hot. So it's kind of like the same thing here, and we see that all of them have green on. Pay attention to the colors. The green is the
yep,
High Towers. The black is the Targaryens, and you see Rhaenyra is wearing the black. She's wearing the black. You see everybody's got their jerseys on, kind of, and so we see he's talking to Daemon like, look, they're on the throne. They're on top of the throne that belongs to my father. We need to go take care of this. And then Damon's like, all right, cool, bet. We going to fucking King's Landing then. Now, I looked at the shot. It looks like that she's pregnant with her fourth kid, which is actually her and Damon's son. I think his name is Daemon too, if I'm not mistaken, in the books. And he's the actual true Targaryen. And now they're traveling, and this is where the war is going to get ready to pop off. And so, as you see here, you're going to see Vaemon Valerian. He's confronting Rhaenys, basically looking like, there's a war popping off. We got another war in the Stepstones, which they were talking about like 2 episodes. But I think like he's also plotting. There's a reason they brought him back into the fold. I think he's trying to be the king of Driftmark. And that's why I think he's going to see, you kind of see like a little bit of a like a little struggle between him and Rhaenys that I feel like they're hinting to. And then they have
yeah, bro.
scene. Go ahead.
No. You finish it out.
And then we have like a scene where like Daemon has a new dragon egg. Except this time, this is actually for him. He's gonna give it to him and Rhaenyra's new kid. And so as the whole time we're seeing like a version of the older kids. Now we have Jason, Luke. They're getting into it with Aegon and Aemon again, but they're older this time and they're fighting. And we have a little different shots of that. And then one thing that stood out that I didn't pay attention to like the third time I watched the trailer is we see Damon's old whore, Massaria. She comes back, but this time she's on Daemon and Rhaenyra's side. She's kind of like the Larys for them, like kind of like their queen of whispers, where she's loyal to them the same way Larys is loyal to Alicent. So you kind of see the crews getting set up, and then the trailer pretty much ends with Otto saying, the threat of the war is looming. But I think he's talking about both wars, the Green and Black War, and also the war on the Stepstones. And that's pretty much what the trailer entails, what we can look forward to next week.
Yeah, no, like I said, it's gonna be a hell of an episode. I think I want to see what Hightower does now that he has, the full backing of the king to do what he wants, essentially. Yeah. So we're gonna see how they play that up. So, and like you said, the final time jump, seeing the new actors, they've done a great job casting so far. So just seeing, even in the trailer, like the look is still the same. Like you said, the Targaryen kids are a little weirder now, but I mean, it's still on brand.
That's what happens when you're born of incest.
Yeah, exactly. But keeping it authentic, they're a little pale.
But what's funny about that? Everybody was wondering about the lineage of Luke and Jace. They look way healthier than
everybody.
These motherfuckers, right?
Yeah. Motherfuckers 17 with thin hair, like thin white hair, like she look terrible.
Aemon looking smooth 40.
Yeah, but no, I'm definitely excited for it.
Yeah, I'm excited. These last 3 episodes, man, we're gonna really get into the shits. Only thing I'm upset about is we're gonna have to wait 2 years for season 2 because I heard they're not filming till late next year, which I understand, but it's just, I know how Hollywood get down, but it's like, damn, nigga, I don't want to wait 2 years for this. That's probably the one thing I enjoyed about binging Game of Thrones. I was pretty much able to get the whole story all up at once. Well, at least the first 7 seasons, because that's when I got into it. Now it's like we gotta wait like everybody else. Yeah. which is the thing that I didn't like. But overall, this is the best episode of the series so far to me. It was so much going on, and it just really I really love how they're setting everything up, the way they're doing it, man. I think that's it's been pretty good, man. So, was there anything else you had to say before we get up out of here?
No, that's it.
So we appreciate each and every one of y'all listening every week. I know a lot of y'all tweet how much y'all love the breakdowns, man. So I'm glad y'all do, because I put a lot of work into these motherfucking notes, nigga. So I'm glad y'all appreciate the notes that I be putting together. But this is episode 69. Free for this week only. Next week we'll be behind the paywall again if you want to hear how this story ends. So check that out. So if anybody who's listening who's not a Patreon subscriber, come on, join, man. Patreon.com/Barber's Network. We got 5 different tiers. If you just want to hear summer sessions with me, Pav, Merk, JR Bang, And sometimes Damien and Flows, even though them niggas probably not coming on anytime soon. But you know, you can subscribe to the $5 package if you just want to hear the 79th and Hallis, exclusive interviews on field videos and our preview podcast. We got the 79th and Hallis $5 tier. And if you just want everything, the $10 Barber's Chair All Access tier is what you need to get. Y'all know to follow me on Twitter at Barberchair Scott. You know to follow October Zonte Dante on Twitter and Instagram. Whole bunch of new stuff out here, man. King's Landing's out. 79th and House is out. Got a lot more stuff dropping this week, man. We appreciate all the support. The BCNet.com. Follow Barber's Chair Network at barberschairnet.com. And we out of here, man. We'll holler at y'all next week.